Hello everyone, welcome to our Let's Play series of Disco Elysium. This is Colonel RPG as usual, and I'm very happy that you chose to join me today as we go and talk to Klaji. But we also have that. What's that? In the yard below, a corpse lies under the pine tree. That is true. We haven't taken it out. It's going to be a little while. Mostly because when we do that, Kim leaves us again. Although I say again, but he didn't leave us before. He just... he went to bed, really. Klaji.
Officer, what brings you up here in the rain?
I need to talk to you about your room again.
Yeah?
Nah, I don't think so, actually. I just wanted to check on the lines here.
All right.
She takes a long, pensive drag of her Astra menthol. Titus Hardy gave us a recording where the deceased states his intention to commit rape.
She puts her coffee cup down with a soft ring as the porcelain meets the metal table.
Did he?
A smile flits across her face.
I never said he was a good man, or that he had good intentions. Only that he was never bad to me.
On this tape, he specifically identifies you as the target.
Where did they get this recording exactly?
It's intercepted radio chatter of the deceased, recorded via de-encryption station. It's authentic enough.
Does he say he's gonna do it Soldier of the Apocalypse style?
She arches her brow. Those are the exact words he used.
Yeah. That was practically his pickup line.
She picks the cup back up.
A memory surfaces in her tired neocortex. It's not entirely unpleasant.
Did he say whores a lot? Was he pretty much on the verge of doing it Kohoi style?
Yes, the word whore was used, and kohoi was mentioned.
He wasn't actually there. He didn't do a tour, or at least didn't tell me he did. Would have been overkill anyway. He lived his own little kohoi. It wasn't his everything.
Why say things like that? Machismo?
Yes, was he bragging?
Oh no, I'm pretty sure he did all those things. Then integrated them into his idea of normalcy. To keep on living. Until they just sort of turn into his,
She thinks.
what's the word I'm looking for?
Coping mechanism?
Running joke. I was gonna say running joke. And it sounds like you didn't even get the good bits. Lely's punchlines got way, way funkier than that. He was like the Seminoles conflict, the Kohoi massacre, and the 36 famine in Yezut all rolled into one person, then cast in Orani ceramic armor, which he wore in bed and in the shower.
Weren't you afraid?
Afraid of what? That tape the Hardy Boys recorded? Your mother probably never told you this, but girls are evil. Had I the physical robustness and social support, I'd be in Kohoi. I would be tearing it up Soldier of the Apocalypse style.
She wouldn't. She doesn't have the full schmin in her.
Yeah, she wouldn't.
Did he tell you he had actually done any of those things? He and Martinez, I mean?
No. We were too busy laying waste to our own nervous systems to direct any of the fury outward. He seemed
She thinks.
happy, I guess. At ease. As much as a man like him could be.
There is a small measure of pride in her that she could quell the rage in such a being.
Yep, I got that impression as well from the line. And the lines, really.
What kind of man was he? Before you go, ask for details. She seems okay to talk about it.
Thank you for clearing that up, miss.
He turns to you.
Whenever you're ready. I'm interested to hear what Titus Hardy has to say now.
She takes a very small sip of her coffee and smiles.
Now that you have had some time, can you tell us more about the victim?
Like, for example, his name?
Actually, officer, I didn't know his name. I just called him Lely.
A nickname?
I guess. He came from Lelystad. It's short for that. And it was his army name, apparently. He said his real name wasn't his. I tried to pry it out of him, but it was no use.
Lelystad. That's a good start.
The lieutenant writes it down in his notebook, then tears out a page and hands it to you.
We have a few questions you can help us with. A few things a field autopsy alone can't answer.
The young woman cranes her neck, trying to catch a glimpse of the page the lieutenant passed to you. On it is a list of autopsy observations recorded neatly in blue ink. Everything left to be clarified is in the column on the left.
Where is Lelystad? The place, I mean.
In Oranje, officer. It's, I think municipality is the term. A nowhere town there.
Municipality. These terms, the sort of political organizational terms that different countries use are so difficult to translate. I have no idea what she means and what it could mean. Because, for example, in the US, a town, as far as I understand it, translates into what you could translate in Portuguese as a council, but it's not really a council. If there's a term for a place where a council looks after, then that's the term that you would translate from Portugal, because we basically mayors preside a council, and that council looks after or rules, I suppose, with some limitations naturally, a relatively big swath of land. It's like maybe closer to a parish in Britain, I think. County, maybe? Yeah, I think maybe a county rather than a parish. I think a parish is specifically religious. But either way, it's just these terms are tricky.
Oranje? Oranje's map of waterways. This fits with his tattoo.
Does it? Reaction speed.
You were almost right, officer.
The lieutenant shakes his head like you just missed a shot in darts.
That means his race was occidental, not mondial. I'll update the form.
You were both from Oranje, and I'm gonna look at Clashy.
Yes. We were compatriots.
Did that bring you together?
No. He was too old for that. And from another part of Oranjenrijk. I didn't even understand his accent. What brought us together wasn't Oranje. It was bad habits.
Sex, alcohol, speed, probably also sildenafil.
How old was he, miss?
He was 42.
42? Are you sure? I would have had him above 50.
He had many scars that made him appear older. But no.
The memory makes her smile.
We even celebrated his birthday, like, some weeks ago. It was a funny 2 days. He had little reason to lie to me.
We were slightly off then. Thank you for clearing it up.
The lieutenant makes a correction in his notes.
A miss. The adversary one.
Shut up, physical instrument. What do you mean, the adversary one? What about his eye color?
Blue. Light blue. They were like...
She stops, her eyes half closed, and then continues.
like little blue galaxies, you know. It was strange, seeing those eyes in his fucked up face. Pardon the swearing.
She takes a drag.
I do him an injustice. He wasn't ugly. And he had a beautiful, soft voice. Very surprising, what with all the scarring. It was quite something, watching him speak.
He had a combat wound on his chin and mouth?
Yes. Severe.
She seems to enjoy the word.
It made him look like half his face was cracking away in some strange smile. That and those eyes.
Ah, yes.
The lieutenant suddenly remembers.
His hair, if you can remember?
It was light brown, almost blonde. He darkened it with brilliantine, made it oily. Not nice to stroke. I couldn't convince him to leave it alone.
Interesting. I too have stroked his hair.
Oily, isn't it?
She says, unfazed. She draws on her cigarette and lets the smoke linger for a moment in her mouth.
We have that in common now.
She understands what autopsies entail. It doesn't get her off balance.
He had a tattoo. What did it mean?
Oh,
She smiles.
that.
It's clear she liked it.
You liked it?
Quite a lot, yes.
It was a map of his service history.
Sure, service history. It was mostly for showing off to chicks, though.
For showing off to chicks? How so?
How?
She leans back.
Imagine him lying in bed. Freakish musculature laid out on the sheets. Scarred, of course. Tattooed. The sheets are dirty for some reason. He's smoking and drinking, of course. And his chest and shoulders and arms are studded with stars. Tens, hundreds of them. Maybe even thousands. And the woman goes like...
She points at the air with her sharp-nailed finger, picking out an imaginary tattoo star.
What was this, baby? And he says...
She lowers her voice, comically.
That was too hardcore. Don't ask me about that. So she goes, okay, but what's this, baby? And he's like, saw some bat shit there. Killed some loincloths. And so it goes. Star after star. Port after port. Third world country after third world country. And he's done horrible things in every single one of them.
And you were the woman in this?
Oh, yeah.
She nods. Can you tell us precisely what these mean? And I'm going to hand her the photo.
No, thank you.
She does not take it.
I've seen enough of him dead. I can tell you what they meant without looking at them.
She pours herself some more coffee.
Go on.
He was a blue-eyed boy with thick arms, from a small town. He was also poor, and the government of Oranje needed some people killed, so they turned him into a grotesque killer. For money. He went to Killer Academy in Vredefort. Then he killed some people in the Seminine Islands. And on other islands, too. All of the islands. After this, he came to Revachol and got killed himself.
Good story. Thanks.
It is when you're high. It can be very exciting then. You have the tools to deal with it. It's not a very nice story to remember when you're sober.
She smiles faintly.
A change of topic?
Could it be love that did him in?
It very well could be, yes.
What do you mean?
What do I mean?
She raises an eyebrow.
I have no idea. I don't even know what you mean. Love did him in? What does that mean?
And here's something that I didn't say anything before, but I think this is like the third hit on this note that makes it possible for somebody who's really smart and better than I am to be able to tell what her side is from here. She's making it up. Some part of her story is made up. And the first note I don't remember exactly. The second note, the first part where I remembered, oh, she's making it up. I don't remember exactly. I'm going to think about it while I talk about the other ones. The second one was when she was explaining that he was, what the tattoos were for. It was very theatrical. And it's just like, it happens that some people, when they're making shit up, they will want to sort of engage artifice rather than... engage artifice, what do I mean by that? What I'm saying is, like, if you make a scene, or if you shout a lot, or you act dramatic, you gain yourself a lot of time to not really think about what you're doing, so that you can think about what you're gonna say. And that's a good strategy to avoid the common pitfall that kids usually fall into when they start to lie, which is just to lie on top of lie. And basically they bury themselves in the lie, and then it loses all verisimilitude, or whatever the word is supposed to be. The third time is this one, because I throw her a curveball, basically. Obviously, in here, I don't think my character would ever mean it as a curveball. I think this has to do with the sexy twist that I can still convince Kim of. But it has to do with that, I'm pretty sure. And but she doesn't see it coming. It very well could be yes. She's just going along with it. And then I ask her, "What do you mean?" Which is just, it's the curveball. That's the finishing of the curveball. And then she does this. The first time, I really don't remember what the first point was, but I have been on edge through this whole dialogue. Not on edge, but I have been on the lookout for her giving hints about her. She's making some aspect of this up. And the other one was when she didn't seem. Oh, it's been more than 3 times, actually. When she said the girls were evil, and when she didn't seem bothered by me saying that I touched his hair. Those things are connected to this. Those lines were written because the writers know her character, and obviously I know her character as well. It's not a spoiler here. I'm not trying to spoil the experience here. I'm just pointing out that these things are connected. And she comes across as fake. And there's reasons for that. We just obviously don't know. Our character doesn't know. And in this Let's Play, we don't know. But he did tell me, actually. Remember when I said that it is connected to me telling Kim that there's a sexy twist in this thing? No. Also, besides that sexy twist, it doesn't literally mean pertaining to sex, which is what sexy literally means. It means just like we've seen what the check is like. It means a cool thing. Did I actually succeed at that? I think I might have. I don't remember. We'll see. We're definitely gonna need to talk to Kim after this is done. But yeah, he told me love did him in.
That's not funny, officer.
Her voice is like a slash through the air. Her shoulders tense up.
I don't know. I think this feels more than her just actually telling me off. But I don't know. I don't know if it is. Something miraculous is coming. He told me.
The lieutenant blinks. His expression does not change. All right, let's see where this is going.
From way out in the northwest. He told me.
Cool.
The woman nods. Did you see the change? Like, her voice itself is different. And I think that's what that slash through the air is supposed to be like, or supposed to be about. She has a very breathy voice, but that one was not. That one was croakier. Well, wasn't. I'm trying to remember. Is croakier the expression? No, but it has a little bit more of that vocal fry sort of aspect that some voices have. But yeah. We ordered a toxicology report, by the way. Any idea what that will show us?
A real rainbow splattering of pharmaceuticals, I bet.
She grins.
Barbiturates, amphetamine, sildenafil.
Hear that? Sildenafil. Just like you suspected. You have a great nose for this stuff.
I do electrochemistry. I do. What is sildenafil?
It's for maintaining an erection. Uppers are vasoconstrictors, so that feat becomes problematic.
Oh. I don't know what uppers are. I think that feat here is referring to erection. Uppers, I have no idea what it is, but it's probably drugs. It means drugs. Drugs are vasoconstrictors, and that's why erectile dysfunction can happen if you take vasoconstrictors. Vaso here meaning it's the Latin word for vessel, and blood vessel in this case. And constrictors, it constricts the blood vessels, which it prevents erection. Okay, and why do I know this, by the way? Electrochemistry?
Because you're a scientist, of course.
Of course.
How much does the toxicology report cost the police of Revachol? I can do it for half of that. Save you some money, make some myself.
It's quite expensive, miss, but we'll manage without your help for now.
I think we're finished with this line of questioning. I'm going to hand the lieutenant his notes.
All right.
The lieutenant puts the slip back in his notes and observes the young woman for a moment.
Coolly, gracefully, she pours herself more coffee.
Let's talk more about this so-called assault.
Not my favorite topic,
She flicks the ash away.
but okay.
Are you sure you weren't raped?
I'm 89% sure.
Does that mean you're 11% not sure?
You know how it is.
Do you?
Oh, challenging failure on a half-light. Do I? She flicks a bit of ash away.
Maybe you don't.
The ash lands on her jumpsuit, and she brushes it off. I wonder if she's being serious here. That you know how it is. In the sense of, serious as in, it does happen that people who are raped do not realize they were raped until some time has passed. Either because of coercion and the traumatic effects of being coerced into action, or because of just social pressure is a very strong, in some cases, usually in marriage, in marital, what's the word? There's a word for rape that occurs within the marriage. I was going to say that word, but I don't know the name for it, or the word. Either way, it does happen that basically people don't realize they were raped, and it doesn't diminish the trauma that rape causes. It's still there. The trauma is. It's just that they don't realize that, which can even be more traumatic than realizing it early on. Which is one of the reasons why. Well, I don't want to speak out of turn because I really am not an expert in any of this, but one of the first things that counselors do to rape victims is to get immediately past or to get immediately to the point where the victim acknowledges what happened, because that can be a very, very strong sticking point, and without that you can't actually get down to the second stage, which is assuring the victim that they're not to blame, which can itself be, the tendency for the victim to assume blame can itself be a reason why some victims don't acknowledge that they were raped, is because otherwise they subconsciously sort of assume that they are to blame for the rape. But it's very messy and very complicated. But she might not be talking about that, because they might have just fucked really messily and just that might be, I don't know. It's so I'm saying that if she's referring to that, then she's not being serious. But obviously she is still being serious. I'm just saying, there's a way serious tone to this conversation than just how we fucked really hard, because that's different, I suppose.
There are numerous cigarette burns on those silvery scales. Easy to see now that you're closer.
Silvery scales? You mean scales on her jumpsuit? I suppose so, because the ash landed on her jumpsuit.
In conclusion, officer, I'm gonna go with a mild to medium not raped here.
No one deserves to be raped.
I'm sure there is one person in the world who does.
A crooked smile.
I mean, there are so many people. But let me make this clear. The man who was hanged from that tree did not rape me.
Why was there a bullet in his head?
Bullet?
There's a silence. Her brows meet in the middle for a pained frown.
They shot him too?
I'm not picking up on any theatre craft here, sir. The pause is sincere.
I know drama.
They stripped his clothes and they shot him?
You mean after they hanged him?
I'm confused, sorry.
So am I. Were you aware that he had also been shot, miss?
Things are starting to go a little over my head here. I thought he was hanged. I was not present when they did it. I don't know what happened. I just know what they told me. And Sylvie, the bartender.
This is beginning to get confusing for you too, and we don't like that. Where was she last Sunday night?
Where was she indeed? Let's hang on to something here. They stripped his clothes and they shot him. So this line over here, it's reasonable for us to assume that she's referring to what they did to him to humiliate him or to just bring him down. Shooting somebody tends to bring them down. So, yeah, stripping their clothes Well, you can go down on somebody after you strip them of their clothes, but that's a different... That's me not being serious again. Well, the point is, yeah, that would be what she's referring to. And then she says specifically, it's all, like her lines are very consistent. She says specifically that she was not present when they did it. I don't know what happened. I just know what they told me. And Sylvie, the bartender. Where were you when this happened?
Cowering. I was cowering downstairs with Sylvie.
Well, I guess I can't ask any more about that. Thank you for telling us all of this, miss.
How about we, change the subject to something more lighthearted now?
Yeah, I'm gonna look her in the eye again. I have a +1 because of the slight confusion about the bullet. Oh, that's interesting. So that is a volition check. I think I have leveled up, so let's return to this later, miss. Let's see if I have... Yeah, we have a new level over here. I am likely not gonna be able to do it, though. But let's find out. I have no clothes that allow me to get volition. So what I'll have to do is I'll have to take psyche drugs. Which sucks. It really does suck. We're gonna need to interact with the ledger as well. Let's do it after this. It's gonna be interesting. Hopefully. I remember it being very interesting. Yeah, I could take the Pyroholidon, but let's not do that. Let's look her in the eye.
Just like the last time. Light brown eyes look back at you. All is as it was. You feel cigarette fume rise from her lips. She's just as beautiful. Don't worry. We will protect you from her beauty. We will consult you through the reefs and sounds of her persona. We will see through deceits. You are advised. Miss Oranje Disco Dancer. The strange moment ends. It was brief, no longer than 2.2 seconds.
That's it then. And that's it for this episode as well, because we're out of time for the day. So for right now, I'm Colonel RPG, and this has been Disco Elysium. I really hope you've enjoyed it. And if you did, go ahead and leave a comment, like the video, but above all, thank you so much for watching, and I hope I'll see you next episode. Bye-bye.